Inside Building Products, a Siemens podcast that keeps you learning.
Welcome to a quick introduction of Siemens Smart Infrastructure Buildings products. Did you know that on average, we spend about 90% of our time indoors?
90%.
Yeah.
It's quite something when you actually stop and think about it.
It really is. Almost your entire waking life, spent inside buildings. And here's the really crucial part, I think. The environment in those spaces, your office, maybe a school, your home, even it's not just background noise.
No, not at all.
It directly impacts your well-being, how productive you are, and importantly, the building's energy use, too.
Absolutely. That statistic, it really hammers home why the quality of that indoor space, the air we breathe, the light, the temperature isn't just a nice to have. It's pretty critical for how we feel and function day to day.
Exactly. And that's precisely why we're doing this deep dive today. Our mission really is to unpack how these smart building technologies from Siemens Smart Infrastructure, specifically their KNX-based Gemma portfolio, can create what some are calling perfect room conditions. We want to explore how these systems boost energy efficiency and also how they mesh with the whole future of IoT. We've looked at insights straight from Siemens' own experts to give you a kind of shortcut to understanding how buildings can work smarter for us.
And it's more than just automation, isn't it? We're talking about a much more holistic view, thinking about the indoor environment in terms of human comfort, health, and sustainable operation all together.
A building that sort of anticipates what you need.
That's a great way to put it. An intuitive building.
I like that. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Lay the foundation. Before we get into Gamma specifics, we need to talk about KNX. You hear it mentioned a lot. It seems like the backbone here.
It really is.
So for those of us who might only know the name, what exactly is KNX and why is it so important?
Okay, so think of KNX as, well, maybe like the USB standard, but for building control, or a universal language for buildings. It's an independent worldwide communication standard.
Independent. Okay, so not owned by one company.
Exactly. That's absolutely vital. It's an open ecosystem, which means devices from literally hundreds of different manufacturers can all work together. Plug and play, basically.
Right. So no being locked into one brand system. That sounds huge for flexibility.
It is. And that openness is why it's, well, everywhere. It's compatible with over 500 manufacturers globally. We're talking more than 8,000 different KNX products out there and something like 100,000 partners in 190 countries putting these systems in place.
Wow. So definitely not a niche thing.
Not at all. And it's not new either. KNX has been around for 30 years. It was designed from the get-go to bring together all these different building applications, lighting, shading, HVAC, you name it, under one intelligent roof. The vision was always about efficiency, sustainability, and making sure it was flexible enough for whatever comes next.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. You mentioned KNX is inherently IoT. Now, when I think IoT, I often picture, smart speakers, Wi-Fi devices.
Right, consumer tech, maybe?
Yeah. How does a 30-year-old building standard fit into that picture of an interconnected future?
That's a really good question. See, IoT, the Internet of Things, is fundamentally about networking devices so they can share data and functions within a building across industries. KNX, by its very nature, has been doing this for decades, connecting devices, decentralizing control. So integrating with current IT tech, moving towards what we call KNX IoT, it's really just the next logical step for the standard. It was kind of built for this interconnected future from the start.
That makes sense. It wasn't trying to become IoT. It sort of was IoT for buildings already.
In essence, yeah.
Okay, another point to clarify. Siemens obviously has its big building automation system, Decigo. How does that relate to KNX? Are they competitors or do they work together?
They serve slightly different roles, but crucially, within the Siemens world, they're designed to be very complementary. KNX, as we said, is that foundational standard. Open, flexible, worldwide. Decigo is Siemens' primary room automation system, really geared towards larger, more complex buildings. Its strength is connecting those main building controls, the big plant equipment, directly with what's happening at the room level. It offers a very deep, integrated, centralized management solution.
So if I'm managing a building, I don't necessarily have to choose between them.
No, and that's the real Siemens advantage here. Their portfolio supports both. You can use Siemens KNX products, the Gamma line we'll talk about, seamlessly within a Decigo system. They speak the same language effectively.
Oh.
Or You can use those same Gamma products independently in a standard KNX setup, maybe mixing them with devices from other manufacturers. It gives you incredible flexibility to tailor the solution perfectly, whether it's a small office or a massive university campus.
That's really clever. It avoids locking people in. Okay, so let's dive into those products then. The Gamma portfolio, that's Siemens' specific line, built on KNX.
Exactly. Gamma is all about intelligent solutions, focused squarely on, well, three things, really. Higher energy efficiency, better comfort, and creating a healthy indoor climate for everyone using the building, using smart tech to get those perfect room conditions.
And it covers quite a range within the building, doesn't it? What are the main areas?
Yes, Siemens breaks it down into 6 main application groups. You've got lighting, sun protection, display and control, HVAC, so heating, ventilation, air conditioning, then system products, which are the background bits, and finally, monitoring.
So technically, how does it all link up? What makes the building smart in this context?
Well, at the basic level, you have devices, actuators that do things like dim lights or adjust valves, and sensors that measure things like temperature or presence.
Right.
These are networked together, usually using a simple twisted pair cable. What's neat is this cable typically supplies both the power and carries the communication signal. It's very. And most of these devices actually have their own control logic built in. It makes the system quite robust, decentralized. Then, to set it all up, to get everything talking to each other correctly, you use the standard KNX association software called ETS. That's the universal tool for commissioning any KNX product, regardless of the brand.
Okay, got it. Let's dig into some of those application areas then, because that's where you see the real benefits. Lighting control, obviously more than just flipping a switch, right?
Yeah, much more. A huge part is using daylight effectively. Gamma systems work to maximize glare-free natural light
How?
by automatically adjusting the blinds based on where the sun is, so you get the best natural light without the glare. Then, that's supplemented by constant light control. The system automatically adjusts the artificial lights to maintain whatever brightness level you've set, just topping up the natural light as needed.
That alone would make a massive difference in an office or classroom. No more squinting or fiddling with blinds.
Exactly. And then there's human-centric lighting, HCL. This gets into how light actually affects us biologically.
Right, beyond just visibility.
Totally. HCL supports our natural circadian rhythms, our internal body clock. The system dynamically changes the color temperature of the white light.
How so?
It can shift from a warm white, maybe around 2700 Kelvin, which is calming, good for relaxing, up to a cool white, say 6500 Kelvin, which helps with concentration and alertness.
Ah, so it adapts the light to the time of day or the task.
Precisely. This isn't just about atmosphere. It genuinely supports well-being, boosts productivity, and it's fantastic for learning environments. Think offices, schools, places where focus is key.
And I assume there are big energy savings tied into this too.
Oh, absolutely. Presence detectors are key here, or schedules. They automatically switch lights off in empty rooms or dim them down when there's enough daylight coming in. Huge energy savings. Plus, using more natural light isn't just cheaper, it's generally better for people too. Siemens has all the gear for those dimmers, DALI gateways, those presence detectors.
Makes sense. Okay, next up, sun protection. This sounds closely linked to the lighting control, smart shading.
It is. They work hand in hand. Siemens offers really energy-efficient sun protection control. It's way beyond just up or down. The systems precisely adjust the blind slats to stop glare, but also to help maintain the room temperature, which, of course, cuts down the energy needed for cooling in summer and for artificial lighting all year round.
I know the frustration of blinds either letting in too much sun or plunging the room into darkness. How does Siemens get around that? Is there some clever tech involved?
Yeah, there's a fascinating detail here. They differentiate between sun tracking and shadow edge tracking.
Okay.
With sun tracking, the slats follow the sun's position to block direct rays, but they don't fully close, so you still get diffuse daylight. Shadow edge tracking, though, is even smarter. It might only lower the blind a set amount, say 50 centimeters, letting a specific amount of sunlight hit the floor deeper in the room while still blocking direct glare near the window.
Wow, that's incredibly precise. Like the building is actively managing the sunlight for you.
Exactly. It uses things like weather stations on the roof and sophisticated blind actuators to achieve that level of control.
Very cool. All right, moving to display and control. This is the user interface, right, where people actually interact with the system. So it needs to be intuitive.
Absolutely paramount. Siemens has a whole range of devices here, different designs to fit different aesthetics too. You've got simple push buttons, room thermostats, right up to these multifunctional touch panels, and even web interfaces.
Controlling everything.
Pretty much everything, lighting, shading, heating, cooling, ventilation, all from one place, ideally.
I heard about one specific product getting attention, the TC5.
Ah, yes, the TC5 touch control panel. That's a great example. It's the kind of thing you'd see on the wall. It lets users easily control lights, blinds, temperature, even check air quality. It's really designed for a great user experience. So much so, it actually won the award for the best KNX product back in 2022.
High praise. And remote access, can you control things when you're not there?
Definitely. There are web-enabled solutions. So you can use your smartphone, tablet, laptop locally or remotely to manage things. You can even set up complex scenes or lighting effects. Imagine adjusting the office heating on your way in on a cold morning.
That's a game changer for facility managers, surely. Okay, finally, HVAC control. Heating and cooling, usually the biggest energy hogs in a building.
They really are. And this is where Gamma can make a massive difference to running costs. The core idea is simple. Only heat, cool, or ventilate rooms when they're actually occupied.
Using those presence detectors again.
Exactly. Or schedules or manual overrides. It's about achieving that optimal, comfortable temperature, but without wasting colossal amounts of energy heating or cooling empty spaces.
I heard a surprising stat about small temperature changes making a big difference.
That's right. It sounds tiny, but just dropping the set point temperature by 1 degree Celsius, just 1 degree, can lead to energy savings of up to 6%.
6% for 1 degree, wow.
Multiply that across an entire building over a whole year. It's significant. And Siemens ensures all the HVAC components work together seamlessly, reduces installation time, operating costs, boosts reliability. They've even got new, very precise thermal actuators for heating and cooling systems to really fine-tune that control and efficiency. Plus, there are clever energy-saving functions built in, and data sharing over KNX helps optimize the whole building automation picture. These are standardized, tested applications too.
So, thinking about scale, does this KNX approach only work for big new office towers, or is it suitable for other building types too?
That's a really important point, scalability. The great thing about KNX is its flexibility. It's suitable for pretty much all building types because it's essentially infinitely expandable.
How so?
Well, in smaller buildings, or medium commercial ones, even managed apartments, KNX can handle all the automation directly. In really large buildings, you might think of the KNX products, like Gamma, operating at the room or field level, controlling the lights, blinds, temperature in one specific area. And then these KNX segments seamlessly connect upwards into a larger building management system, like Siemens' Desigo CC, or Desigo Room Automation, which provides that overall centralized control and visualization for the entire complex. So it scales from a single room to a huge campus.
That makes sense. And getting these systems commissioned, set up, connected, is that a headache?
Siemens has tried to make that smoother. Most of the Gamma sensors and actuators are designed to be commissioned in 2 ways. There's the standard KNX way, using the ETS software that's the electrical channel.
Right, the universal way.
Exactly. But then for integrating directly to the Desigo Room Automation system, there's what they call the Building Automation channel, using Siemens' ABT site tool, which offers more of a plug-and-play experience. Many devices support both, which gives installers a lot of flexibility.
That dual approach sounds very practical. And can you manage multiple buildings this way, maybe across different sites?
Oh, absolutely. You can integrate these systems into standard data networks, LAN, the internet. This allows for remote management of multiple buildings, potentially scattered all over. You get real-time status updates, allowing for really efficient, optimized operation from a central point or even from anywhere with an internet connection. IP routers connect different floors or buildings over Ethernet, using network infrastructure that often already exists.
With all this connectivity, security must be a major concern, right? Especially with building systems.
Paramount. And it's addressed directly. KNX IP Secure provides strong protection against unauthorized access or manipulation.
How?
Through encryption. Data transmission is encrypted during commissioning and during normal operation, so it ensures data privacy and system integrity.
That's reassuring.
And beyond just security, the visualization aspect is huge. Being able to see everything graphically, energy use, system status, weather data makes managing the building so much easier. You can spot trends, identify problems quickly. It gives you that central overview, which boosts security and helps cut operating costs by catching issues early. And of course, underpinning all this are reliable KNX power supplies. You can even run 2 in parallel for redundancy, doubling the power and ensuring uptime.
So it's robust and secure. What if a building already has some other system, maybe BAnet? Can KNX talk to that?
Yes, interoperability is key. Siemens offers a KNX BAC Net IP gateway. Think of it as a translator. It allows easy data exchange between BAC Net systems and KNX systems, so you can integrate them without having to rip everything out. It bridges those two major protocols.
This has been incredibly informative. So let's just quickly recap our mission. We wanted to unpack Siemens Smart Infrastructure Buildings products, focusing on how KNX and the Gamma portfolio enable really intelligent building management across lighting, sun protection, controls, HVAC, the whole system.
And I think we've seen how Siemens' approach, grounded in that open, flexible KNX standard, really delivers tangible benefits. Significant energy savings, much better comfort for occupants, and healthier indoor spaces overall. It's about optimizing these environments, where, as you said, we spend 90% of our time making buildings truly work for the people inside them.
Which leads us perfectly to our final provocative thought for you, the listener. Given that KNX is essentially IoT for buildings, and with this growing focus everywhere on human well-being and sustainability, what will the perfect room conditions of the future really look like? How will these interconnected systems keep evolving? Will they move beyond just managing buildings to actively enhancing our lives within them, creating spaces that feel almost responsive, alive even? Something to think about.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll catch you on the next one.